Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Steam Deck OLED Hall Effect Joysticks. Now this is offered by a company from Handheld DIY, and they had sent these out as well as their ClonerAlliance backplate. If you haven't seen that video, spoiler alert, they have the best backplate versus all the Joysticks options, so if you're looking out for a good thermal backplate for that, please do check them out. As well, they are in the Indiegogo kind of crowdfunding phase of the backplate for the Steam Deck OLED, so they're going to be coming out with custom backplates as well for that, and look forward to me featuring that on the channel potentially in the future. Now for the sticks here, we have the Hall Effect Joysticks for the Steam Deck OLED specifically. They have made them for the LCD version in the past as well as the other handhelds. Now with this version, I did get the tighter version as opposed to the standard, and the standard is just regular and tighter is a little bit tighter than the stock. Now why would you want tighter joysticks? Well, this could be for driving games if you want kind of better control when you're steering around corners as shown here in Dirt 5, or if you want to have more granular FPS control as shown in Cyberpunk here. Now, the other advantage of having the Hall Effect joysticks versus the potentiometer-based ones, the stock Steam Deck OLED, is that there will be no stick drift and the potentially zero dead zone. Now, we'll kind of get to that in a bit when I show you the interface of the joystick control and everything like that when I get mine swapped in. But however, that is the claim, that the magnets just will never basically get out of whack. They'll always be in the perfect dead zone. You can set your dead zone all the way down to 0 and you're golden. In my case, I was not able to, but they do rate it for being 5 million rotations versus the 0.5 million rotations of the regular type joysticks. Again, I can't test that because I don't have the time to sit there and spin my joystick around 5 million times, but you know, I'll take their word for it. Now, as well, they do have a matte surface on top of the joysticks versus the kind of glossy, slippery surface on the stock. I do find this to be a big upgrade because I find that my thumbs did slide off quite regularly on the Steam Deck LCD and as well as the Steam Deck OLED stock sticks. With this, it just makes it feel a little bit more grippy and without needing to go for the obnoxious kind of oversized grips to get the grip that you want. As well, they do come all pre-soldered and everything. So before in the past with some of the early models of the Hall Effect joystick mods, you would have to resolder the wire yourself to get that touch capacitive setup and everything. So if you want to have the touch capacitive for gyro aiming or just for it to be sensed when you're touching the joystick and when it's not, then it can disable. You don't have to worry about that. It's all pre-done for you. So these mods now are easier now than they ever have been before. Honestly, it's 6 screws once you're inside the actual Steam Deck and taking the back off. It's 6 screws, 3 on each joystick. Got to disconnect one wire and you're golden. Now, as said before, it is super easy to install. All you have to do is remove the 6 screws in the back of the Steam Deck. Thankfully, they do include every tool that you'll need. Kind of overkill, honestly. I don't think you really need the tweezers, but it's great to have a nice set of plastic tweezers on hand and the guitar pick and pry tool. Now, one thing about the Steam Deck OLED versus the Steam Deck LCD is they went to the stupid Torx security screw styles of screw on the back and inside as well. So thankfully they do give you the screwdriver that fits the screws, but at the end of the day, like, why would you go from Phillips, kind of like an open standard, to something people would not likely have? You know, it just seems anti-consumer, anti-repairability, all that. To its credit, everything does feel well put together, more well put together than my Steam Deck original LCD model ever did. The screws will feel more secure, they feel like they have a proper endpoint and when they're properly sunk in. So the OLED model is just a refinement on the original version, and the build quality does kind of reflect that, I would say. But again, I would rather that they've gone for just a regular Phillips style of screw. Again, once you're inside, there's the joysticks on the left and the right, so all you have to do is just unclip the little flip ribbon cable here. Don't be afraid of flipping the black part open. It does take a little bit of force, but just your fingernail or even the pry tool or the tweezers could do the trick for you. Once you have that and the screws removed, you're going to have to kind of finagle with it to get the joystick out. I had to take it off camera to get it out fully for one of them, but same thing, once you put the new ones in, you're going to have to finagle with it around the triggers to get it in. But don't worry, you're not going to be forcing anything anything in that doesn't belong. It's a straight up swap. Once you get them all screwed in and everything's all snug back in place, this is kind of the, I guess, sketchy or slightly scary part for some. You do have to power the console back on with the backplate off, because there are two buttons on the back of the joysticks, K1, K2, or key 1, key 2. K1 will basically, when you set that, it will set the radius, so you have to do 3 circles, the joysticks, and then press it again, and then that sets the radius of the sticks. K2, all you have to do is just press it when the sticks are at their 0 point, and then that will set the 0 point for the sticks. It's very simple to do, but at the same time, it's a little sketchy of just having an electronic kind of open the back end of the Steam Deck and everything. Don't be like me, don't wear a ring while you're doing it. Just take off any jewelry, watches, things like that you might potentially cause a metal contact and short something out. You never know, better safe than sorry. Again, don't be like me. Now, as mentioned before, when you see here in my advanced setup for the Steam Deck, trigger, joystick, whatever calibration, but it only ever shows the joysticks, go figure. But anyway, when we're configuring that, you can see that my dead zone is actually not pinpoint perfect 0. So I can't drop my dead zone all the way down to 0, but theoretically that dead zone should never waver or get worse because of the magnets. Now on the right joystick, it's not as bad, but it does still slightly sit off canter, or off center rather. So this was after pressing the key button multiple times to set the dead zones and kind of play with the sticks and recenter them and then set them again. And every time it just always zeroed into that kind of bottom right hand corner for my left joystick. So I just adjusted the dead zone accordingly, not so close that it's right by the edge, but not so far away that it's kind of a waste of space. And again, because they're magnets, they should theoretically never kind of waver from that point. So at the end of the day, what do you get $43 in? Well, you get the tighter joysticks, yes, you get the grippier top of the joysticks, which is really nice, but more importantly, you just get peace of mind of not needing to repair your joysticks in the future. Now, this could be something that you're looking to do right away, or if your joysticks have failed on your Steam Deck OLED or Steam Deck LCD, if you get the LCD model, obviously. When they do fail, if they do fail, you could then look into replacing them with the Hall Effect Joysticks, and then they would likely be set for the life of the device. If you want to go ahead and get a jump start on that kind of future repair, if you're planning on keeping the Steam Deck OLED for a long time, then drop them in now and you should be good again for the life of the device. Now again, these joysticks were supplied by Handheld DIY, no other money exchanged hands. But at the end of the day, that didn't really change my opinion of, yes, this is a worthy upgrade if you're into the modding of your handheld, just modding PCs. It's a super easy mod to do, especially now with the pre-soldered wire. You don't need to do any soldering if you want to keep your touch-sensitive pads. Even if you never use them, hey, it's nice to just be able to have them, even if they're not in use. Now, would you do this if you're just a casual user? Maybe not. $43 is kind of a big ask, I would say, for these joysticks. But when looking at the stock versions, you know, I would say, again, it is a worthy upgrade. So if you're not going to put them in now, maybe look forward to putting them in if your joysticks break, if they start getting stick drift, or the dead zones just become too wide, or if they just get looser over time. If you do play a lot of racing games or FPS games, I would say that the tight joysticks are the go-to move. You can get an elite pack that gives the tight and the regular stock resistance, but I would say that why would you go for the elite pack? You can only really be using one at a time unless you have 2 Steam Decks or something, sure. But again, worthy upgrade. You're gonna have to be the judge on the price. I would say the price is fair. It's in line with most of their other joystick pricing as well. If you look at other kind of vendors out there, there isn't too many. There's the Geely Kit ones, but they're around the same price. So yeah, again, I would say it's a worthy upgrade. Don't expect to get perfect zeroed in dead zones. I wasn't able to. You can see that more on my left joystick, as I mentioned previously, but I just kind of adjusted the dead zone in the system accordingly. And that'll do it for this one. I'd just like to give a big shout out again to Handheld DIY if you're looking at their products, or if you're looking forward to their Steam Deck OLED cooling deck plate. Please do look and sign up for their registration on Indiegogo to enjoy their early bird pricing and to get the latest updates. Again, I would like to thank ClonerAlliance. They did send over their ClonerAlliance UHD Pro a little while ago just for screen capture and stuff like that. I will be doing a full dedicated review on that, but all the footage you saw here that was screen captured was thanks to that, and you can see that it provides a nice 1080p 60 or 4K 30 image. That'll do it for this one. If you want to get in touch with myself or other handheld creators, please do join the Handheld United Discord. And as always, I hope you all have a great day.